Is it working? Yep, it's going. All right, we're back. That was messy. Okay, we're back. That was messy, but it worked. Okay, this here, I spent like 8 hours making this. It was ridiculous. This here is the kind of train stations I can make now. I mean, I got the design from Ken, of course, from K1 Gaming. So the design is Ken's, but yeah, a lot of this is my own personal touch. So, yeah, and just look at like how much more complex this is compared to the first train station I made. Like this will be another iteration. You know, of a train station. I have to name it. But yeah, look at the. I mean, look how complex this is compared to the other one. And then the train line, look how they're right next to each other, so it's a lot more compact. And then of course the colors help to distinguish each subsystem. So you understand what you're doing. I mean, look at that. That's great. I mean, what is this even? Oh, that's part of the, yeah, what is this? I don't even know what this is for. What does this do? Anyways, I don't understand what the pink is down there for. It doesn't seem to do anything. Well, okay, so it shoots a signal down this way. Oh, okay, so it resets the panel. Okay, so that part resets the panel, I guess. Let's see. It shoots it into that blue line. Yeah, which resets this. That's right. So that's the but it can't reset it yet because I don't know. I don't understand it. So I still don't understand this. But here it is, right? Here it is. I don't understand it, but here it is, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Look at this. All right. So I go nowhere, and then like this block raises up, and this block moves out of the way to make a hole for the cart to go into. Watch. It's amazing. I think it's great. Isn't that awesome? Oh, that's so funny. So yeah, and if you like pick a spot that isn't lit up yet, like there's nothing there, nothing will happen. You go, bounce back. That's great. That's great. So yeah, this is a fantastic system. I really dig it. I spent a lot of time making it. It took forever to make it. Because nothing ever goes as planned. It never does. You can plan and plan and plan, but it will not go the way you plan. Guaranteed. And at that point, you just have to think your way through it. So, building this station made me really appreciate what it takes to make a home, make a house. When you're making a house, there's a million billion things you have to do and get right. And if you don't get it quite right, then the whole thing doesn't fit. And I didn't really appreciate it until I started making these big complex train stations. The amount of problems that spring up in the middle of making something that should just be like boom. I mean, you have the plans, right? It should just be easy, just go from plan to here. But no, there's 1,000 little things that spring up that you have to figure out if you want to advance. For example, This red line here is not native to the plans. I had to make that red line. This whole red subsystem. What this does is it, when the cart leaves the station, it will trigger. There's a it will trigger these detector rails. When the cart leaves the station, it triggers these detector rails, which powers this redstone line, which hits this repeater to keep the power going, which goes up and over the rail selector subsystem, and connects to the reset system, the orange reset system. So I had to figure that out. Yeah. The other thing I made when I first made this, I had the arrival bay over there and the departure bay over here, so that nothing worked. I had to flip everything backwards and tweak it, and it was a big headache because nothing ever goes the way it's supposed to go. Like, you see this little blue outcropping? Yeah. So another thing was that the nether portal put me over here. This was my floor, which is no floor at all, right? It's a bunch of lava and magma cubes trying to kill you, and a bunch of uneven like basalt columns. So it's super treacherous. I had to hang my butt out over this to make this floor. And then I had to build walls because the magma cubes would come in and try to kill me, or ghasts would spawn way over there and they would come and try to kill me. So yeah, all in all, not a whole lot of fun. But here we are nonetheless. And I made it, right? And in this iteration, in this time, the station is incredible. The train station is like amazing. It's comparing it to its previous iterations, this thing is fantastic. And this design will work on both Bedrock and Java, according to Ken, the guy who made this, who designed this. Yeah, so like it's pretty incredible. This is like the most compact train station you can make. It only goes to what, 15, 14? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's got 14 stations. Oh wait, not even. This one's a reset. This is not a real station. So 13 stations. It's only got 13 stations, but it works on both Bedrock and Java, and it's pretty compact. The only difference, I mean, the previous versions of this, instead of going up, you would go down and have to come back up to this level. So you trade going down for going up. You know, not a big deal. But yeah, it's getting better every time. Every iteration gets better and better. When you pass on when knowledge gets passed on, it just continues to accumulate and create better and better things. Knowledge is a real thing. Knowledge is an actual object. Knowledge is an object that we have to refine from raw information. Humans have to process this information and come up with knowledge. Knowledge is processed information. And the only one who can do that processing is a human. All right, so what else we got going? Let me pull up my, first of all I want to say off the top to get it out there is that it was well, not I alone, but I blew the horn of Eld. I blew the horn of Eld. I called upon our forefathers to help us in this battle, like 3 years ago. This whole series is me blowing the horn of Eld. I'm trying to awaken in people their connection to the heroes of old who brought us to this moment. Because our great thing that we have in our country is democracy. Because by this democracy, we have freedom. And with the creation of the internet, there came into being a new space. But the humans, at that time, the space came into being, couldn't process it, couldn't comprehend the information. They didn't understand that there was this new space being, like, they called it cyberspace, but they didn't really understand it. It was science fiction to them. It wasn't real. So, but by linking computers, you link humans. And when you link humans, you link their processing. And so it was like a giant, it's a giant, huge space, a brand new space, this information space that a lot of humans just kind of ignored, or didn't appreciate its qualities. But there was an actor who did appreciate its qualities. That actor is Russia, the mafia state, not the people, not the culture, right? Not the spirit of Russia, but the mafia criminal aspect of Russia. They recognized this. I mean, even the Russians themselves recognized this space, because the Russians understood you couldn't do battle directly with the Americans. You couldn't do it. You can't. Russia could not do it. No way, no how. Can't do it. Why? Because the United States is a bunch of states bound together very, very, very tightly, so that it's not just Alabama or California you have to fight. It's all of them, all at once. That's like a giant mob. You can't Russia could not handle it. Same thing with the EU, right? Why doesn't Russia just roll over the EU? Each individual nation state couldn't stand up to Russia. Poland would fall if it had to stand against Russia by itself. Germany would fall if it had to stand against Russia by itself. Like Finland. But yeah, that's why these nation states, France would fall if it had to stand against Russia by itself. Like, that's why these nation states bind themselves together into a bloc, because as a bloc, Russia can't do anything to you. Russia can't hurt you, like, militarily, physically. The physical world is barred. But remember, that's not the only space. There's a brand new space called cyberspace, the information space. Now human brains are being linked externally. It's not just internal connections between you and your family, or you and your friends, the personal relations. Now you're connected, like, to everything, literally, through the internet. So this is a space, and it needs to be defended. But it was not defended. It was not defended. It was kind of ignored, I guess, by Americans, because Americans are really, really into individuality and their individual self and their individual experiences. At least white Americans, I don't know. And I'm half white, so so yeah. What's going on? More coffee. So we have this new information space. Russia, and like, Russia could use this information space to attack the United States. Easy peasy, because they don't need to use guns and they don't need physical presence. I mean, the United States is physically secure, but, you know, so it's hard to have a physical presence. But through the information space, it's wide open. Like, Western society is all about spreading ideas and sharing ideas, right? That's the whole point. Share ideas. So Western infrastructure is like wide open to Russian misinformation. It's easy to go in there and spread a bunch of BS. Because that's the nature of your society, to spread information, test it, and then discard the bad information. And that's how you arrive at better ideas. But the Russians can subvert this and poison the information pool. And that's just as effective as having soldiers go at it. It's even more effective because it costs you less money, and you win. Because look how well that Russian disinformation has confused our people in the United States. Like, I have people telling me that the Supreme Court is supposed to decide the election. Why would the Supreme Court decide the election? Why have an election if the Supreme Court is just going to decide it? What? And then, you know, they want to say voter fraud, but they can't because there's no evidence. There's like nothing there. So you can't say voter fraud. So you can't go to court because of voter fraud because there's no voter fraud. The margins by which Biden won are so big that you could toss out tons of ballots. Like, a court case is not going to change it. Like, it's millions upon millions of ballots have been cast in favor of Joe Biden over Donald Trump. I think the last count was like over 5 million. Dude, if I had $5 million, not votes, but just $5 million, I'd be sitting pretty. If I get 5 million votes for anything, I'd be sitting pretty. And Joe Biden got 5 million more votes. He got like 700, like over 70, 75, 76, 77 million votes. Joe Biden is president-elect. He won the election. And anyone telling you differently is spreading misinformation and trying to discredit democracy. Because that's what the Russians really want to do. They want to discredit democracy. They want people to believe that no humans, you're not capable of governing yourselves. You're not able to. You need strong leaders to tell you what to think. That's what the Russians want. That's what Donald Trump wants you to think, that you're not capable of governing yourself, that you need him to tell you how to live your life. If it sounds like an abusive relationship, it's because it is. Yeah, I wanted to show off pictures, right? That was gonna help me talk. So here, let's look about some of the stuff going on in our country. I didn't label any of these. Oh, wait, here. I stole this video from a concerned citizen. I didn't ask for permission, I just took it. But I think it's real important that you watch what happened in Salem, Oregon. You need to understand what's going on in Salem, Oregon. Right? This actually happened. So Salem police sent out a warning that something was going to happen. Already, like, I guess it's my group, social justice event was already weeks in advance. We scheduled this, but the Proud Boys showed up ahead of time. The Proud Boys showed up ahead of time before our rally. Our rally began at 3 o'clock. They showed up at 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. and stayed there the whole time. And now the police were protecting the Proud Boys while they did this. See, this guy's trying to get away, and then they stole his paper. They stole his paper, and then watch. And then they punch him. They stole his paper. They punched him. Right? And then they punch him again. Right? And now he's walking away, and they have waved the flag in his face. Then they punch him again. See? Like 3-4 times, and they stole his paper. Now this guy stole the sign. See? They punch people. They steal property. They punch people, steal property, destroy property. So, these guys are Nazis. These guys, they're Nazis.
It's a lie.
They're Nazis. You see the gang colors they're wearing? These guys are Nazis. These guys are all traitors. They're Confederates. They're enemies of the United States. They are trying to overthrow the government, right? These guys are traitors. They're traitors. Proud Boys are traitors. So see, the police are protecting the Proud Boys. You see the police? They're not there in riot gear. They're there to protect the Proud Boys so the Proud Boys can punch people and hit people and harass people and terrorize people. So the police are there to protect the Proud Boys, you see? They're making sure the Proud Boys can do it. Right. So these Nazis are attacking the press, right? These people are attacking the press. They're attacking the press, and the police are protecting the Proud Boys while they attack the press. Now see, police are giving this guy an escort so he can go harass this woman. Right? So it's the police and this Proud Boy going to harass this woman, forcing her to leave. Right? You see how the police are helping the Proud Boys? The police are on the same team as the Proud Boys. The police help the Proud Boys. The police are Nazis. So look how violent these Proud Boys are, right? When the police are helping the Nazis, they'll attack the press, they attack people, they steal property, they punch people. They're gonna pepper spray this guy too, watch. So he got pepper sprayed. So remember, they're doing this. Look at behind them. There's all sorts of police there, protecting the Proud Boys as they attack people. All right? The police are there to protect the Proud Boys. That's what they were doing that whole time. Look, now while the police are there protecting the Proud Boys because they have state protection, they get to steal things now. So look at this gang. They're a gang, dude, and they have police protection. The police are there. The police are watching, but the police are there to make sure no one stops the Proud Boys from doing their thing. That's why the police are there, to protect the Proud Boys. The police are violent. The police are totally corrupt.
USA!
So they're following someone. They're basically a giant gang is following a woman with police, and the police are making sure the gang is safe. They're chanting the name of the country they want to overthrow. They have weapons, all sorts of weapons. They're a gang. They're a gang. Those are Nazi flags. So they're waving Nazi flags, and they're attacking. See, she just stole that woman's camera. He stole that woman's camera. So she's going after her camera, and now she's trying to get away after they stole her camera. See. So they spray her. So police protection, right? The police are protecting the Proud Boys as they are chemically attacked. They steal things. They use chemical weapons. The police are protecting the Proud Boys. The police in Salem the state police are protecting the Proud Boys. Oregon State Police protect Proud Boys when they attack citizens in Salem. The Oregon State Police are serving fascism. So law enforcement serves the fascists. Right? It's not serving and protecting. No, they attack people. Look at that. This is with police protection. Remember, the police are all there. All the state police are there. They're protecting the Proud Boys doing this stuff. Right? This is with state police protection. State police protection. They were protected by the police while they did this. While the Proud Boys terrorized, attacked, assaulted, stole, all sorts of stuff, they were protected. Now, here is the anti-fascist rally, right? This is anti-fascism. This is against fascism. These people are opposed to Proud Boys. The people we saw, punching and stealing stuff, this is their opposite. All right, we're looking at the opposite of Proud Boys now. This is the opposite. So for the opposite of Proud Boys, right? Look who shows up. All right. Oh, the riot police. The riot police show up for a march, not for the Proud Boys attacking people, macing people, using weapons on people, stealing property, not for them, no, for the people opposed to the Proud Boys. Oh, you mean these people were a threat to the Proud Boys? So to protect the Proud Boys, Salem law enforcement deployed the riot police against demonstrators, peaceful demonstrators. Have they hit anyone? Have they attacked anyone with chemical weapons? Have they stolen property? No! No! But the Salem law enforcement went after them. Salem law enforcement did not go after the Proud Boys, the fascists, the ones who broke the law. There's the police. They do nothing. They're there to protect. Right? So if you attack people and block cars and you're a Nazi, it's okay. But if you're a non-violent protester, you get assaulted, you get attacked by the riot police. Right? This is with state protection. Proud Boys get state protection, police protection, blocking cars, attacking cars. All right. Non-violent marchers who are ideologically opposed to Proud Boys get riot police. Right? Do you see what's happening? Do you see what's happening? People want to say it's not a coup going on. This is a coup. This is a coup. The Salem law enforcement is with Trump. Salem law enforcement is with Trump. They are traitors. Look at them. They help the lawbreakers. Salem law enforcement protects the lawbreakers and attacks the law-abiding citizens. Salem law enforcement protects Nazis who break the law and attack anti-fascists who follow the law.
It's not okay. You can push us, but you don't push them. That is what's wrong.
Do you see? Look at that. Where were they for the Proud Boys when they were attacking people? Oh, they didn't come out for those guys. No, they only care about the anti-fascists, that the people who fight Nazis, people who hate Nazis. They're okay with Nazis. They don't like people who don't like Nazis. Do you see what's going on? I'm trying to get this to drill into your head. I mean, are you seeing it? Are you seeing it? It's clear as day. Look at these police. Look at it. Did they ever do that to the Nazis? Did they ever touch the Nazis? Did they ever touch the Nazis? No. Salem law enforcement helped the Nazis, protected the Nazis while they attacked people, and then the Salem police attacked the people. So I need you to understand where we're at as a country. Okay? Now, this is going to be something, I don't know. I think it's kind of obvious. But the history of the United States is the history of white people becoming civilized. The history of the United States is the history of white people becoming civilized, because they're barbarians. They're barbarians. Now, I don't want to say all white people are barbarians. I'm not saying that, but a lot of them are. I was talking to a woman who said, oh yes, I would be a Democrat, but the Democrats, they like to give away free stuff to poor people, and I don't support that. Democrats like to give away free stuff to immigrants, to illegal immigrants, and I don't like that, so I can't support the Democrats. Well, why can't you support the Democrats because they give, or just because they give away stuff to free stuff to people? Well, because they don't deserve it. And then this is real. This is real. Our ancestors didn't have like these nice things like food stamps and Medicare and Medicaid. Our ancestors didn't have, and they did okay. They survived. You know, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So the logic is, well, if they had to suffer, you should have to suffer too. There's no reason to make a better society. I got the benefit of a better society because my ancestors suffered. They created a world where I wouldn't have to endure the same thing they endured. Because they had to endure child labor and unsafe work practices and starvation and eviction and homelessness. Because they had to endure all these bad things, they passed laws and created programs, and they set things up in such a way that that would never happen to me. But, so I received the benefit of living in the world that they created. So I'm looking at these people coming in, and then this woman has the audacity to say, well, if my grandparents could survive without any help, you can survive without any help. We'll exploit you just as much as they exploited my grandparents. Coming from a place of privilege, right? Coming from a place of privilege. Coming from a place where she was already given the benefits of not having to endure the atrocities that her ancestors did. She wants to inflict those same atrocities on the new people and justify it by saying, oh, well, my ancestors had to do it. You should too. Whiteness. Whiteness. That is whiteness. Another thing. She said, I don't feel responsible. I don't feel responsible for all that slavery and genocide. I don't feel responsible for it because my parents came to this country after all that happened. It was way after all that happened. And then I'm like, well then, don't, so since she lived in the United States and got all the benefits of living in the United States on the land of the United States, since she got all these benefits after it had already, after the murder and genocide, not before the murder and genocide, she only got the benefit. Like, her thinking is, because my family did not take anything from the United States when it was free, when it was like only Native Americans here, and no slaves are on here. Since our family didn't take from America at that time when it was free, we only took from America after America suffered slavery and genocide. Since we took only after, we're not responsible for the slavery and genocide because we only took afterwards, after it had already been done. Right? We were able to take from the United States our livelihood after the United States underwent slavery and genocide to prepare the way for us to come here. Therefore, I am not responsible. Right? Make it with blocks. Okay. So, here's time is a line, right? Here. Time. For now, time is a line. All right. Forever ago. Native, lived here. Native, right? Okay, and then settlers come in. Grab some wool. Oh, they're right there. And then settlers come in. Slavery and genocide. Civil Oh, here, that's even better. Here, there's a better way of doing it. Okay, forever ago, Native Americans. Then the settlers show up. Slavery and genocide. Civil War. Jim Crow. Exploitive. Jim Crow. Sharecropping. Jim Crow. Discrimination. All right, present day. Now we're here. All right. So now we're not down there, right? Slavery and genocide. We're way up here on top. We're at this time. So we're like, no, I don't feel. And then this woman is saying, no, I don't feel responsible at all for the slavery and genocide at the base of this structure. I don't feel responsible at all. I'm not responsible for it. It doesn't affect me at all. Since I'm not responsible for it, I'm not responsible for addressing the injustices of society, because I disavow. I don't claim responsibility for the slavery and genocide at the base of the structure where I live. So this woman wants to say, I live up here. All right, I live up here, but I want to get rid of the slavery and genocide part. All right, so there. So by taking away slavery and genocide, she says, I live up there, but I got here by magic. Oh, this is going to be harder. Oh, wait, there it is. Oh, that's going to be impossible. Nope. I can't do it. I can't do it. But yeah, she's like, yeah, I just appeared here, and there was nothing before me. That's white people. Oh yeah, I just got here. It was all me. It was all me and my ancestors who arrived late. So no. No. This is directly relevant to what's going on right now. Today, I blew the horn of Eld. I blew the horn of Eld and called upon the spirits of our heroes, of our ancient heroes, and our current heroes. Our current, our veterans today, because it's a day of remembrance in Europe, but it's a day of continuance here in the United States. And this is for the people who are serving right now in capacity, of our we're undergoing a coup. Donald Trump has said he's not going to accept the election results, and he's spread disinformation to trick a bunch of people into thinking that they can cancel the election or whatever. Now, remember that terrorist group, the 3 percenters? What's their deal, 3%? Well, the whole catchphrase is, it only takes 3% of a population to start a revolution. So if Donald Trump can trick 20% of Republicans into believing that he's the legitimate president, even when he's not, and he can get a fraction of those people to take up arms against the United States. You see where I'm going with this? This is a bad situation. This is a bad situation. This is the situation that I was warning people about like a long time ago, that I foresaw a long time ago. And like that we come to a coup. That it is a coup, right? This is the solidification of a coup, because the election was going to be our the 4 boxes: the soap box, the jury box, the ballot box, and then the only box we got left is the ammo box. And the ammo box is going to hurt real bad. There's no it will only hurt Americans. If we go to the ammo box, it's only going to hurt Americans. Russia will benefit greatly. Oh yeah, Russia will love it. China will love it. But Americans will die. So it's real important that the ballot box be respected. And since Donald Trump and a lot of Republicans are disrespecting the ballot box, that says something about who they are. Like, do they abide by the Constitution? If they're trying to overthrow the will of the people, and the Constitution begins, "We the people," what's going on with these people? Traitors! It's a coup. It's a coup. Coup d'etat. So we've got to parry it, right? That's the whole point. I saw this coming. That's why it's called the parry, right? The coup and the parry. We're going to block it. And one part of the block was the election. And that was massive. That was massive. That did awesome. Because Joe Biden won by such a large amount, all the tricks of Donald Trump and the Russians, they couldn't tweak it enough to get it. They couldn't do it. the other part of the coup that saved us, because that first night, the first night of the election at 2:30 a.m. Eastern time, Donald Trump wanted to say, oh, look, I'm leading in all the states I need to win to have the election. I'm the president. That's what he wanted to say. He wanted to say it. But for some odd reason, I don't know, it's a mystery. For some reason, someone at Fox News called Arizona for Joe Biden. Real early for Joe Biden. And like they're the only one to call it so early. Like no one else would follow. It was strange. No one could figure out why. And then at 2:30, the night of the election, because and that's when the red mirage set in, right? Because the red mirage is that certain states would only count their in-person votes. Then they count the mail-in votes. So the initial count will be heavily in favor of Republicans, but the mail-in ballots will be heavily in favor of Democrats. So it'll look red, but as all the votes become counted, it becomes apparent really blue is the majority. So, but Donald Trump was going to use this red mirage to try and seize power. He was going to claim, oh yeah, I got Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, Pennsylvania, North Carolina. I got them all. I'm the president, and he was all about that. But someone at Fox News called Arizona for Joe Biden. So when he gave his press conference, he didn't have enough states. He needed all of them, and he didn't have Arizona. So he couldn't go up there and say, "Oh yeah, I have all the states. I'm claiming it. I'm claiming the presidency." No, because he lost Arizona for some strange reason. Someone called Arizona against him. So his plan fell apart. When he claimed, he's like, "Oh yeah, if it wasn't for Arizona, I would have all the states so I can be president." He tried that. He really tried that. He tried to do it. And everyone's like, yeah, whatever, dude. We're still counting. But he tried. If Arizona had been called for or looked red, it might have worked. Because he's even trying it even now. Even now he's trying to do it. Even now. Yeah, he got Mike Pompeo to do it. And it's like, what? What are you doing, Mike Pompeo? You're dumb. Where is it? Did I save it to the desktop? No. I don't know where it is at. I thought I saved it, but I guess I didn't. Oh, yeah, there it is. Listen to Mike Pompeo.
Is the State Department currently preparing to engage with the Biden transition team? And if not, at what point does a delay hamper a smooth transition or pose a risk to national security?
There will be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration.
There will be so my question is, since you're delaying transitioning to the next president, when does this become a security hazard? And Mike Pompeo, Secretary of State, said, oh, we're going to smooth transition to another Trump administration. Why would you say that? He lost the election. It's a coup. It's a coup.
Right. We're ready. The world is watching what's taking place here. We're going to count all the votes. When the process is complete, there'll be electors selected. There's a process. The Constitution lays it out pretty clearly.
It sounds like he wants to disrupt that process, don't you think? He sounds pretty nervous. Pretty nervous for a Secretary of State who just admitted to treason on TV with the whole world watching.
The world should have every confidence that the transition necessary to make sure that the State Department is functional today, successful today, and successful with the president who's in office on January 20th, a mid-afternoon, will also be successful.
So there's a lot of people saying on the internet, a lot of smart people saying on the internet that we shouldn't worry about the coup attempt because it's really just a cover-up. They're trying to cover up their crimes and they're trying to make money off of this. while they can. Because if they concede, they can't raise money anymore. They can't scam their people anymore to get money. But as well-meaning as these smart people are, at this point, I don't believe it. It's sort of like that friend who's, when you're there with, it's two women and their third guy friend, and maybe the woman and the man, one of them was a couple, and there's like the female friend who's hanging out, and the male friend's like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we did a threesome? Wouldn't that be funny? A threesome, right? With us, like threesome, isn't that? So funny. What a joke, right? Jokey joke, right? Right? I mean, because if you're into it, like, all right, sure. No, dude, no. I'm just joking, just joking. You see how that works? That's Mike Pompeo. That's with the coup. It's only a joke, right? It's only a joke unless you think it's serious. Then sure, I'm serious. It's a coup. Mike Pompeo, Donald Trump, the Confederates, Mitch McConnell, Rand Paul. Right? Oh man, it's awful. It's awful. Yeah, it's a coup. So, yeah, it's important to call it what it is. Number one. And number two, realize that, like, yeah, there's a lot of Americans. Like, that they think that they could do this is just insane. Ugh. But it scares me because they've gotten pretty far. Our institutions have failed us a lot up to this point. All right, let's go to the Blaze Farm. Whoa. Ho ho. Yeah, the Nether, man, this place is crazy. Crazy dangerous. Everywhere's danger. And I had to cover all this on foot, and that was no bueno, no fun. So yeah. What else do I got? Just hang out here for a while, I guess. Wah. So you're going to hear a lot about legal votes and illegal votes. That's what they're talking about. When Nazis talk about legal votes versus illegal votes, they mean white people, not votes for Donald Trump. Those are legal votes, and votes for Joe Biden or votes from not white people, those are illegal votes. Because remember, Nazis don't actually care about democracy. They only care about power. What else do I got? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Oh, yeah, okay. So here, hide me. Webcam. Okay. Democratic trust in elections rises as Republican trust plummets. The share of registered voters who say they trust the United States election system either a lot or some. Democrats, Independents, Republicans. So Democrats, Republicans are about the same, and then hits the election. And when Donald Trump and the Republicans start talking crap about the electoral process, Republicans believe him. Republicans believe him, and their trust plummets to like 35%, 34%, while Democrats, their trust in the electoral system goes up to almost 80%. All right. So this is so Republicans, based on no evidence, there's no fraud, no nothing. Based on nothing, their trust has plummeted based on nothing. So when seeing evidence of nothing, Republicans said, "Oh, my leader said this, then I follow my leader," and that's what happened. Ed E.B. Crocker, attorney for the Central Pacific Railroad, on the need for surplus labor to keep workers from striking. This is from an 1867 letter. The same year, Marx published Capital. The only safe way for us is to inundate this state and Nevada with laborers, freedmen, Chinese, Japanese, all kinds of labor, so that men come to us for work instead of our hunting them up. They will all find something to do, and a surplus will keep wages low. It's our only security for strikes. So strikes are necessary to increase the wages of laborers. And the capitalists know this. So they tried to flood markets with immigrants that they could exploit, or like newly freed black people who they could exploit, and then pit them against the white people. As much as you want to call the situation in the United States a system of economics, of economics only, it is infused with racism. You cannot extract the two. They cannot be extracted from one another. They are bound together. They are bound together. So if you want to deal with economic justice in the United States, you have to deal with racial justice. You have to. If your deal is to empower the worker, then by default you have to empower minorities and address their racial issues. The racial system that keeps them exploited. They are number one in your system, in your deal. So this is how unjust is the U.S. Senate. The population of California is 40 million people. 40 million people get 2 senators from one state, right? The next 40 million people, which are all the people in these states, on this territory, so 40 million people, 2. The next 40 million people get 30. So 40 million people get 2. Another 40 million get 30. These 40 million get 10. These 40 million get 8. These 40 million get 12 and 12. These 40 million get 10. These 40 million get 12. And this is 1/5 of California. So this is like 8 million. And they get 4. So Californians get screwed. They get screwed in the system. All this empty space is controlled. Gets 30 senators, And all this condensed space only gets two senators. So the representation in the Senate is messed up, which is why the United States is having so many problems, because our system is inherently undemocratic. Inherently undemocratic. When your idea is to spread democracy, you need to make sure your system is democratic, and this is an undemocratic system. Because this undemocratic system exists, we have a lot of that manifests in a lot of social problems, a ton of social problems. By contrast, wait a minute. Here's all the seats in the House of Representatives. So yeah, these 40 million get 53, these 40 million get 50, these 40 million get 55, these 40 million get 50. It's pretty close. These guys get screwed. They should have more representatives. But so this is at least a little more fair. But the problem is this is the House of Representatives. But the problem is the Senate is a busted institution. We need to get rid of this thing. This only helps white supremacy. It does not help the cause of democracy. And the cause of democracy is what this nation stands for. We are all about democracy. So if we're all about democracy, we need to clean our house. And this is the big problem. Like, the two houses are not equal. The Senate is superior to the House. And the Senate is undemocratic. And it is superior. That needs to be fixed. This graphic. Which candidate truly cares about me? Which candidate really cares about me? We have urban people in the lightest, suburban in the gray, and rural people in the blue. So Joe Biden truly cares about me. People in the rural don't think he does. Don't think that Joe Biden cares about people in the rural areas. But rural people really think Donald Trump cares about him. Right. Donald Trump, who lives in New York City, really cares about people in Montana. Why? Why would you think that? What makes you think that? So Facebook is a Nazi propaganda site. It's a disinformation site to spread Nazi propaganda. That's what Facebook is for. That's the community that Facebook has cultivated. Facebook is a Nazi information website to spread misinformation and to attack democracy. That is the community purpose of Facebook. So one day, I was talking to someone who was spreading misinformation about the election, right? But this person, had the blessing of Facebook to do so. After the election already passed, right? The election's over. Election's already over. I posted a video that I made of myself talking about the voting system in Oregon. And Facebook banned me for 7 days because my post violated the community standards. Remember, Facebook is a fascist misinformation website. That's the community. So the standards of a fascist misinformation website hold that you probably should spread fascist misinformation. But I was spreading good, true information about the good democratic system that we have in Oregon. That's why Facebook banned me. Because by spreading good information promoting democracy, it goes against Facebook's community guidelines of spreading only misinformation and fascism. Facebook is a Nazi propaganda site. Break it up. Break into little pieces. Make it into lots of little companies. If you can't do that, you should kill it. Or regulate it. Regulate. with a heavy hand regulate. Why am I saying all this stuff? Today of all days. Because we can make such a better country, such a beautiful country. But right now, a bunch of barbarians are tearing it to pieces and selling the pieces to our enemies. And if we truly honor the sacrifices made by our veterans as they fight for our interests abroad, we need to defend democracy here and maintain democracy here in our country, at home. This work is even more important than the work they do overseas, because if without home, it's overseas is nothing. You gotta keep home. You gotta keep the home. Right before the magic moment, 11/11/11. I was cleaning the toilets, my toilet, and thinking, you know what? Soldiers who went abroad, we have this image of them like in black and white, being triumphant or engaging in battle or palling around with comrades. That's the vision, that's the idea we get. But if you talk to a soldier and you ask them, what's it like to be in war? They will tell you it is unending boredom. It is unending boredom. Unending boredom, punctuated by intense bouts of sheer terror. So boredom. Ah! Boredom. Ah! What did they do? What did those soldiers do? Well, they maintained. They did the most unglamorous work you can possibly imagine. They did the crappiest work. Day after day after day. The crappiest work necessary to maintain the functioning of the unit. They had to do it for the greater good. They did crappy work for the greater good. Day after day. None of this glamorous war hero stuff. It was cleaning toilets. They cleaned toilets. Day after day after day, clean toilets. Because if you have a dirty toilet, you're gonna spread disease and lower morale for the whole unit, and everything is crappy. No, you're not a soldier's life isn't glamorous war shots and victory and poses and stuff like that. Nah, it's doing grunt, nasty, dirty work. Totally unglamorous, cleaning toilets. And they did it in service for the United States. Day after day after day, endurance. They endured it. Day after day after day. It's not all, logistics is huge. You can't have an army without logistics. And logistics people are not glamorous war people. A lot of times they're just like cleaning the toilet. And they're heroes. They're heroes for it. I don't mean to take away from people who have given their lives and who have like risked bodily harm and their own lives in the service to others. I'm not trying to say they're like the same, but they're both glorious in their own ways. It's a different kind. It's a different kind of like it's an endurance. It's like a polishing over it. It's like, yeah. It's like the folding of the katana. What else do I got? Yeah, the Salem law enforcement helps the Nazis in Salem. So white supremacy is a real deal, dude. White supremacy is actually here. And like it's in our law enforcement. So yeah, defund the police as a way of abolishing the police. The first step is to defund them on the way to abolishing the police. I'm gonna go to a vigil for Herman Thomas III, who was murdered by a white supremacist here in Salem the other week over road rage. He was murdered because he was black. And like people, and like the town just keeps on going. Nah, dude, we got a white supremacy problem in Oregon, in Salem, in our police department. You can see it in our institutions. It's deep. It's deep in here. And the first step is for white people to understand that they're responsible. All this stuff that we're talking, it's not for minorities to do. It's for white people to understand that their system is messed up and they're benefiting from it, and they have to take responsibility for it. Because if they don't take responsibility for it, then they can't do anything to change it. If you don't take responsibility, then you don't do anything to change it. And then things keep going. And then we're still yelling at you next time. America will never get any further than it is now until it acknowledges its crimes, its history, and to make reparations, to begin the healing. Because the alternative is fascism, to deny truth, to deny liberty and justice, and to go with only power. Because if that's what you want to say, that's another thing I heard. That's another thing I heard. Oh yeah, it's okay. If you don't like it, too bad. The Americans, we conquered this land away from the Native Americans. We conquered it. Too bad, we conquered it. Oh, well, wait a minute. Your nation is all about using reason, not violence. You say you are all about. That's what you're about, right? Truth, justice, and liberty. That's what you're about, right? So, if the truth of the matter is that you use violence to unjustly take land, then the truth is that you cannot call other people illegal when you yourself are not supposed to be here. It flows, right? It's a thing. So you either acknowledge that truth, or you stop pretending you care about truth, justice, and liberty, and admit that you're all about power and that you're a fascist and you're a Nazi. Proud Boys are Nazis. The police that support them are Nazis. Look how far we've come. Look how much farther we'll go. All right. Enough for now. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you, veterans, for your service. We here at the Home Front are trying our best, doing what we can. So, thank you. And, yeah, I'll see you around. All right, PoGokeRo out. PoGokeRo out. Peace.